No, 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 no. What's going on, faithful friends? Art Eddie here with my main man, Patrick Quinn. What's up, sir?
What's up? How's it going,
Happy,
amigo?
I'm doing well, man. Happy early birthday to Batman. His technically, I guess his comic was, started in May 80 years ago, but for some reason, March 30th is like the celebration for 80 years. So hats off. He looks damn good for 80, man.
That is some solid genetics right there.
No doubt.
All right, everybody. So tell us where you are watching from. Pop it into the comments because maybe one of your neighbors is also watching too. If they're not, you should go to your neighbor's house and tell them to watch. So we love to hear about people from other countries. We want to know what state, what city, what region, what town, what street. Pop it into the comments. Become our friend. And what are we talking about? Speaking of comments, because we need a lot of comments about people about this big issue we're going to talk about, which is
it is ranking the Batman actors, whether it's TV, film, animated, whatever the case may be. You give us your list. We want to know who you think is the best Batman, maybe the worst, the Don, the Cape, and the Cowl. Let us know. And also, too, thanks to our good friends at Custom Ink. They're sponsoring this week's show. Go to lifeofdad.com. Check out the Design with Dad contest. We've had a bunch of shirts already designed by families and dads and kids together. We love it. We got a few more days to enter. For more details, go to lifeofdad.com and check out the Design for Dad contest. But again, thanks to our good friends over at Custom Ink. You can see the logo up there for hanging out with us and sponsoring the show.
Yeah, so what Custom Ink is too, because if you weren't around for last week, with Custom Ink, you can go on there, you can design your own shirts, you can have your kids design shirts, you can co-design together and pop it up there, and they'll make the shirt for you. So you have like a little memory to have for yourself. So Art's going to make a shirt, I'm going to make a shirt. We're going to have a shirt off one of these days, I think, and see who makes the better shirt. What do you think, Art?
Hope you get your shirt off. Hey-o. So let me ask you this, man. Like,
yeah.
For you, favorite Batman, because I know you and I were kind of talking before, like you might not have like a huge list breaking it down because some of the animated series you haven't seen, but do you have like an overall favorite Batman and why?
Honestly, Michael Keaton, I think, just because he was like the Batman when I was like the movies were coming out and everything, and he was like the Batman, it seemed like. Like I remember when who was after him? I can't even remember what the chronology it was there. But
it was Val Kilmer and then George Clooney.
That's right, Val Kilmer. So somebody like when he was coming on, I was like, man, I just can't see him getting into the shoes of Keaton because he was just so good at it. So I like personally, that's my favorite. But I also like look at like watching the movies now. I love Christian Bale's take on it. I love because with that they really concentrate more on the backstory and more on the character development and stuff like that. So it's hard to like really give a favorite because they're just so vastly different. And like you said, I didn't really study up on like the guys who played him on the animated series or things like that. But for me, Keaton, #1 Batman, numero uno. How about yourself?
Nice. I'm gonna give my list a little bit later.
All right, good.
It'll be a Batman tease, but just want to give a shout out to people who are checking out the show. Robert says TV show, maybe talking about Adam West.
West,
Ran, a good friend of the listener to our show here. He's from checking in from Aberdeen, Washington. Shannon's from Montpelier, Ohio. Superior, Wisconsin. Superior, Wisconsin. I was like, are you talking about like an awesome video game? Like, that's great. Haven't seen either. What about the best Jokers? I think Patrick and I will do that for a later show, but because the spotlight's on the birthday boy himself, 80 years old. You gotta pay respect, right?
Here,
so we'll do that.
Let's not talk about the arch nemesis for God's sakes. Not on this of all days.
Baby from Carolina Beach in North Carolina. Mike says Christian Bale, then 2 everybody else. Let's see. Eugene says Kevin Conroy is the best animated Batman, and Michael Keaton is the best live action Batman.
No, he said the best love action because Keaton really gets the love action going with what's her name in the movie? Dang it.
Well, in the first one, Kim Basinger, yeah, and then it's like Michelle Pfeiffer, and then it goes oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. Nicole Kidman, right? Yeah.
Was it?
And one of the Val Kilmer one was Nicole Kidman because Kilmer was with Kidman. Keaton was in both the first one and the second one, and Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman in the second one. So that was that was there.
Damn, dude.
We got Wallace Smith saying number 1 is Keaton. Lego Batman played by Will Arnett, and then everyone else doesn't matter.
I totally forgot about Will Arnett. Oh man, he might be my number 1 actually. Whoever that was, well done bringing that up, because he's one of my favorite actors just of all time, just because of Arrested Development and how freaking hilarious he is in that. But damn, I totally forgot about Lego Batman. Did not even cross my mind to think that way. That's so awesome.
Preston says Michael. A lot of people are going for Michael Keaton. Evan says Batman the Animated Series, Kevin Conroy. Christian Bale ? Michael Keaton. JB says Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I mean, there are so many good lines from all the different Batman movies, but I'd say best in regards to the films has got to be Michael Keaton. I mean, Christian Bale's got some good one-liners, but I felt like Kilmer and Clooney were kind of forced. Like Keaton was just phenomenal the way as Bruce Wayne and as Batman.
Exactly. In my opinion, it's an all-around good actor, you know. So I mean, not that Christian Bale isn't. He's just a little too intense.
Yeah, Michael Keaton should have been the Robert Downey Jr. of DC. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And here's another thing too. I think you and I talked about this on past shows. I would love to see Michael Keaton as the Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller's version. There's like a huge online push for him to go and become, when Batman's kind of old and grizzled and gray. How awesome would that be?
That would be so rad. And I never really thought about it until just right now, though, that he's a DC hero and a Marvel villain. That's kind of rad.
Right? That dude,
so awesome.
I think the whole thing started up when they saw him as the Vulture in Spider-Man, where it was like, dude, that car scene going to the prom gives me chills every time. I know we talk about it every time we talk about Michael Keaton in superheroes, but I have to bring it up.
We got to bring it up. I mean, that's it's super intense. You're like, oh my god, because you kind of get like that feeling of like, back being a teenager and being in a car with a girlfriend's parent or something like that. But with the added, little bump of "I'm going to murder you," literally.
This is my first arch nemesis, and I'm like, okay, I'm dating his daughter. Okay, here we go.
A lot of pressure.
Matt Moore says Christian Bale for the live action, Kevin Conroy for animated, but Conroy is Batman. Yeah, I love. I've interviewed Kevin Conroy a few times. You can check it out at Life of Dad, especially on the Nerds Geeks Dads podcast. The dude is phenomenal, and not only is he great in the animated series, but he's also great in the video game. Like Mark Hamill was the Joker in the animated series and also the video games with Kevin Conroy, and you gotta love that. And a lot of people we had that image of all the different Batman, Will Friedle and Dietrich Bader. They also were Batman in the animated series. Batman Beyond, which is who takes place after Bruce Wayne. He's a new Batman. He is voiced by Will, and then Dietrich does his own series for Batman. I even talked to Dietrich when we had him on the Life of Dad show as well, and he was talking about how much fun that was. He's like, he had so much street cred and also like dad cred, because he's like, his kid would brag to their friends at school, like, my dad played Batman.
Wait, Dietrich's kids would?
Yeah.
That's awesome. They should be bragging about the fact that he was the karate guy in Napoleon Dynamite. But
bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
That's really where the pride should be. And two girls at once.
Yes. At the same time. Jessica says, I'm the number 1 Batman. There you go. Gotta love that. She's got to have that shirt. It's like, you never see me and Batman in the same room, right?
There it is. Jessica? Well done, Jessica.
Patrick says Bale made Batman real. I agree with you there, because like Tim Burton's Batman with Keaton is, it's very comic-y, very dark. I mean, we all know what we're getting with Burton, right? When he makes a movie and all that. Christopher Nolan's Batman was, he had his gadgets and all this other stuff, but like a legit Batman, like you could make that, like if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you could probably make that car, right? You could buy that car, and then all the gadgets and all the stuff that he had, like the zip line and some other things like the smoke bombs. It's like, this is kind of legit, right? It wasn't like, Adam West's, shark repellent, but Adam West kind of gave the funny yet serious Batman as well. So you gotta give love to Adam West as well.
Well, that was because back in those days, comics were looked at as campy fun things for kids. That's why that show was very much made to be a comic, like almost like a 1960s adults version of what a comic book should be. Like just a thing for kids, campy, whatever. And the comic book really did kind of follow that vein until like the mid 80s when they started making the really dark, like graphic novels of Batman. And then that's the Frank Miller is picking up on that version of Batman. Whereas what's it called again? Burton's version, which is phenomenal, and Jack Nicholson is one of the best Jokers ever. Again, probably the best in certain aspects, but that's just a sign of it's a movie for that age. Like you were talking about the one-liners. I mean, one-liners are all about like late 80s, early 90s. Schwarzenegger movies. You got to throw in those one-liners. There has to be things that are like memorable things you can quote out later, but later on, it's more about the story and the character and why this works and how we're going to spin in all the other franchises and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No doubt. Well, so, yeah, great points right there, my man. And I love Mike bringing this up. So thank Mike for bringing this idea up. Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne. Bale was the best Batman. I think with Batman and Spider-Man, you have, because of the different actors that have played the different, revamps that they've done, people will kind of comment like, all right, Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker, but maybe not a good Spider-Man, right? So there was always that debate. And so, Mike, in regards to like Batman versus Bruce Wayne, I could see kind of where you're at. Like, I felt like Keaton was the mysterious kind of Bruce Wayne that he was the billionaire, but like, what does he actually do? And then Bale's Batman was just kind of like, he was like coming off as the lazy, tired playboy, and it's like, all right, we get it, So I mean, that's the way Nolan went, which was fine, but I feel like Keaton added some like mystery to Bruce Wayne.
Exactly. Right? Yes. A little off subject because we're gonna go to Spider-Man right now, but can't think of the actor's name that plays Spider-Man right now, but I think he's
Tom Holland.
What's that? Yes, I think he's great. Both are like, I think he's the best one so far because he nails both sides so perfectly. Like no other actor really captured what it's like to be a teenager like he does, like a normal kid, and being like confused and starstruck and shit like that, stuff like that. Excuse me. And also just being super awesome as actual Spider-Man. So he's excellent. And I loved in Into the Spider-Verse how they threw a nod to the emo dancing.
Yes. So good. So good. This house right here, Jennifer Minister, her house must be like awesome because there's so much geek chat. She said, this is an endless debate between myself and my husband. That's great. Preston checking in from Savannah, Georgia. Bruce from Fresno, California. Scott, okay, we talked a little about Adam West. Adam West, I watched the original show as a kid. Haven't really seen the movies except the one with Keaton. He was great. Bale. How far are you away from Gladewater, Texas?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Gladewater, Texas, so probably far. I don't know. Texas is like the size of Europe.
True. Matt says the Dark Knight trumps all, changed my mind. All right, I got to give a shout out to all these people who on the Life of Dad Geek Dads forum. Christopher Dillaway says best animated Conroy, best live action is Keaton. Rest of them goes for animated Arnett, Friedel, and then Bader. And then for live action goes West, Affleck, Bale, Kilmer, and Clooney. Barnaby in the Geek Dads agrees with Christopher. Dale from the Geek Dad says Michael Keaton for live action, Kevin Conroy for animated. My boy Johan, big Batman fan. He goes Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck is a surprise number 3. Christian Bale, Kevin Porter, Adam West, Will Friedle, Will Arnett, George Clooney, Val Kilmer. One of my good buddies, Andrew Emery. I love the way he's like, full disclosure, I haven't seen any of the cartoon ones depicted, but I'm ranking it based on the actor. So he goes Keaton, West, Kilmer, Bale, Clooney, Arnett, Bader, Conroy, Friedel, and then Affleck.
I've heard. I haven't seen Affleck. I haven't seen his version of it. But
you haven't seen Justice League or Batman versus Superman?
No, I haven't seen either.
Okay, skip Batman versus Superman and just go watch Justice League because it's not as bad as. I mean, I'm hearing.
This is a great review. It's not as bad as.
Wonder Woman, like after the Dark Knight trilogy from Nolan, Wonder Woman hands down is the best DC movie. I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but I heard my wife was away this past week, and I had advanced tickets to go see Shazam. Zachary Levi plays Shazam. I couldn't go, wait. And I heard hands down this is a good movie. It's a good family movie. There's some swears in it, people were saying, but they said this is one of the best DC movies ever, and people are loving it. So I'm curious to see that.
I read an article just recently. I forget where it was, maybe the Nerdist or something like that. But they were saying how there's been a huge shift in the way DC is handling their movies, where instead of continuing down this dark path of everything's so serious and we're so whatever, they're more embracing the entertainment value that Marvel has, and that's why you're going to see changes like that, in Shazam and other movies. So coming up, these DC movies aren't just going to be so bleak and dark and heavy-fisted or heavy-handed with all of the depth and everything that that maybe you don't need. You want to have some lightheartedness in the movies that the whole family can enjoy it. I'm not going to sit down with my kids and watch Dark Knight. I'm just not going to do that. Until they're 15 or 16. But, probably I haven't seen it yet, but Captain Marvel, I'll probably sit down with my kids the second that comes out on DVD.
You're gonna enjoy that. My kids and I, we saw it with my wife last weekend, and then my wife, like I said, my wife was away, and my kids are like, should we go see it again? So I love it.
Victor Aragon from Fan Dads. If you don't know Fan Dads, check out fandads.com. He told me how to jailbreak my Amazon Fire Stick, so I could probably watch Captain Marvel tonight if I wanted to.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Victor.
Val Kilmer, Doug says Val Kilmer's Batman is one of the country's worst experiences. But then Brucey says, I like Val Kilmer in Tombstone. Yes, Val Kilmer in Tombstone was fantastic.
He is the only Doc Holliday. That's he is the zenith of Doc Hollidays. If there are going to be others, you have to try to aspire to be Val Kilmer.
I love Eugene's sponsor. Yeah, by the way, you're spot on everything today, man. I love this. Play the lottery. Get a lottery ticket. Eugene says Christian Bale sounds like a bear with a mouthful of marbles as Batman. Changed my mind. I love Tim Burton's version, but the new trilogy is the best. Adam West, then Michael Keaton. I want to give out a shout out to our boy Benjamin Mullen. He said this is his list: Conroy, Keaton, Affleck, Bale, Kilmer, West, and then Clooney. And then one of my friends, he's a geek as well as us, Christopher Letty. He said Keaton, West, Conroy, Affleck, Bale, Arnett, Kilmer, and then Clooney. And then lastly, to finish this off, Joe Shaw from the Detox podcast, who I had on recently last week. He goes to me, Art, you forgot two people in your graphic. He's like Lewis Wilson, who played Batman in 1943, and then Robert Lowry, who played Batman and Batman and Robin in 1949. Well done, Joe. Well done.
Guacamole. Dang. Did you ever see the thing online where it was wherever Adam West was living in the I can't think what's called, the Yellow Pages. If you looked him up, Adam West, it said see Batman, and if you go to Batman, it says see Adam West. There was no address or anything listed. But you would go from one, in his phone book, you would go from one to the other, and he's listed as Batman and Adam West in the phone book. But it just see this person, and you go back and forth. Perfect.
That is whoever did that when telephone books were in vogue. Well done on that. Man. Well done.
You don't need your telephone book anymore, or your Yellow Pages to find a good shop.
It's called the Google. Brucey says he stole my balloons. He stole we're talking about Jack Nicholson. Such a great line there.
So good. I'm gonna have to watch that one again. I haven't watched that one in many years, but dang, that's a good movie.
A guy who's always checking our show, McFly, says Christian Bale had more incidents of fish lips in his acting as Batman than 15-year-old girls on Instagram. Oh, McFly, if you are still around, email me art@lifeofdead.com. Like I said, when we were promoting this, we're giving out prizes. You are definitely getting out a prize, man. It's gonna be something Batman related, or it could be just a DVD, film, something like that. But email me art@lifeofdead because you got something really good. And then JB coming up strong with a topic idea. Side topic: best and worst Batmobile and Bat suits. Of course, you got to talk about the Bat nipples, right? that was the Clooney suit, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it was the Clooney suit. Yeah.
Anti-shark
spray.
One thing that we were just talking about, like which what's his name? Batman's Burton's Batman. There's a scene, you know, when they're in the museum and they're spray painting all the works of art.
Yeah,
I can legitimately get mad at the Joker for destroying all of the artwork in the museums. I'm always just like, oh man, because I was always going to museums when I was a kid. So that actually made me mad at one of the Jokers. I didn't care that he was trying to murder people. But
it's like there should be a team of kids that try and stop people from destroying artwork, right?
I know, right? Who could write a show like that? Who could create something so spectacular?
I don't know.
I wrote a show like that. It's being made in Israel, but whatever, you know. Name dropper.
Does it rhyme with Satric Spin?
He's really handsome.
Nicholas, here's a good take. Patrick says Nicholas and Ledger are equivalent Jokers. # legends.
I'd agree. You just different kinds of Jokers, different takes on who he is. But yeah. Disagree.
Rod says disagree. Bale had the looks for Bruce Wayne and the body for Batman. No, like, yeah, he looked like Bruce Wayne. I think everybody who got cast as Bruce Wayne, again, maybe the comic book boy, like Bruce Wayne's got like dark hair, and like Val Kilmer had like, you know, a little bit lighter hair. I'm like, nah, just dye your hair, man. Just dye.
Michael Keaton really didn't have any hair, you know.
Yeah, right, yeah. But I totally agree. But I felt like we were talking earlier about how Keaton was a good Bruce Wayne because there was that. I mean, there's different there's different comic book series for Batman and DC, like different comic book series and lines and stuff like that. Like there's Batman, Detective Comics, all these different ones, right? And they're kind of portrayed Bruce Wayne in different ways. But I just felt like the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton version was pretty darn good. So,
oh hell yeah, of course.
So
wait, we're getting down on time here. I want to hear your list. You said you were going to say it later.
All right, yeah, here we go. So let's see. My list, bring it back up. All right. My list goes like this. Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Adam West, Val Kilmer, Will Arnett, Dietrich Bader, Will Friedle, Ben Affleck, and George Clooney. I feel like if there wasn't nipples on George Clooney's suit, they would have been tied for the last.
You see, I feel like because there was, he's number one.
There you go. Awesome as always, man. Yeah, and I was saying, like, Affleck wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't. I think, again, it deals with writing and it deals with how things were going. The way the Superman, you know, and everyone's like, oh, I don't even want to say anything because you haven't seen it. But the Batman and Superman, there's one part where I'm just like, wait, what? Like, that's how you're doing things? But I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, Christopher. There you go. Christopher says, sad that toxic fans drove Affleck away from the role. True. I get that. But, you know, in my thing, I just kind of put him down low mostly because of the writing and the story. It just wasn't that great.
Just didn't pan out too well. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
You see it, you go watch it, and then you'll come back to me and you can give me your thoughts, man. But we'll see.
Okay.
As always, everybody, thanks again for checking out the show. We'll see you next Wednesday. Patrick and I will have another great topic. And again,
don't forget to go to Custom Ink. Go check out. Go make your t-shirts, man. Remember, Custom Ink is sponsoring us this time, so get on to where should they go to find the contest?
They can go to customink.com, but if they want to like know all the details, go to lifeofdad.com and check out on the main page. There's a Design with Dad's post. You just click on that link. They'll give you details on where to send the images to. I was talking to Custom Ink. They said like, you know, they've got some good ones in right now. There's a lot of like dad heavy ones. If they're looking for more like maybe family oriented ones, if you want to kind of do stuff with the family, like make a family style shirt and all that good stuff, do it. Go to lifeofdad.com, check out the Design with Dad contest. Go to Custom Ink. You guys are geek dads. You're also creative dads. Patrick and I want to see what you guys can come up with. We're going to announce the winner in a couple of weeks once we kind of get all the entries in and all that. But again, thanks for everybody.
We're going to talk to the guys at Custom Ink and see if we can maybe print out a bunch of the submissions just so we can show them in the show, because I'd love to see what all these like our fans are actually coming up with.
They actually sent me like kind of like the first round from like last week. I'm going to take some pictures and create a post on Life of Dad, and you guys can check it out, and I'll tweet it out, and I'll tag you so you can see it as well. All right.
Awesome. Nice.
All right, cool. So for Patrick and myself, thanks again to Custom Ink for sponsoring the show. You guys have a great night and a better tomorrow. See ya.